Hey guys, Mix here, and in today's video we are back with the Go NasKar once again, and today we're going to be doing something that can either make this engine completely different or fail miserably. So over the course of this build, if you guys have, been watching for a while, you know that these carburetors have given me a huge headache, and I'll explain to you why, half of them are pulled off right now, or you probably just know from the title or whatever. But I'm going to be getting rid of these. They are not reliable and good for long-term use. I really don't trust them at all. I mean, I got it to be able to run. We were able to test the engine with these, and they came in handy. But now I think it's time to take a next jump up and try something else new. So what I did is I got something special for it in these two boxes, and a lot of you guys say to go with cars and cameras, and I watch them a lot, and their car is awesome. And they did a dual carb swap, and we have the same engine, and they also had carb issues and everything like that. If you guys don't watch them already, definitely go check them out. They have a ton of knowledge of this stuff and everything like that, so I'm going to try and learn from them. And what I did is I got two new 34mm carburetors. So definitely pretty sweet. They're flat slides. I mean, hopefully these things can make this engine actually run great, because I'm pretty sure after a while this engine runs on 2 cylinders just because they stop working. So in doing this 4:2 carb swap, there are a couple other things that we're gonna have to change, like throttle cables. I have 2 new throttle cables on the way. I mean, this one is starting to fray up there, so I might as well just get a new one. And the other one, dual carburetors, gonna need to get 2 and kind of make an adapter up there for it to move 2 throttle cables. And then for the fuel line, I got a T-fitting in order to get the fuel into both carburetors. And this is basically how I'm going to mount up the 2 carburetors to go into the 4 cylinders as of right now, because this is what they did, and I mean, theirs seems to work pretty well. So I'm just going to give this a shot. I went to the hardware store earlier. I measured a ton of things. That's why the carburetors are already part off, because I had to measure the diameter from inside of there and match it up and everything with the diameter of the new carbs. So I'm not 100% sure how much we're really going to be able to run it, if run it at all in this video, just because the throttle cables are on the way, and I'm not sure really when they're going to come, but we probably are definitely going to be doing other stuff in this video as well. So I just want to get started with this. I'm definitely going to have to adjust these little rubber fittings and everything, just because of how long they are, and I need to get each fitting to fit in between each hole for each cylinder. So with that being said, let's get started. Just have all the tubing and everything all mounted up and tightened down. It is super solid. Everything came along pretty good. I did have to cut some things, as you guys saw, but everything looks really good so far. But the only thing is, I'm just gonna have to go run back out to the store and get 4 more hose clamps, because I thought the hose clamps that I had would be big enough, and well, they are not at all. So I'm just gonna have to get ones that are like the size of the ones that came on these, and then we could go ahead and mount up the carburetors, see how those fit. I was checking before just to see how they fit side by side, because it is pretty close, but it does look like it'll be a perfect fit. So let's just go run out to the store real quick, pick up some new hose clamps, and then getting back to work. guys, I just got back from the hardware store, and as I walk in, I realize I only got 2 like an idiot. I need 4. So I gotta go back out and get some. I just tried to look around if I have any bigger hose clamps laying around, but I don't have anything. So I'm just gonna go run back out there quick. It's not that far, and then we'll be back and officially getting back to work.
Eventually.
So guys, the carburetors are on, the fuel lines are on, and this is probably just a temporary position because I'm going to have the AirPods and everything on there. But I do want to go ahead and flip on the fuel pump, see how the fuel runs, because in the last video we had a problem with the fuel being able to make it up onto the incline. It's a little bit less steep right now, so I'm thinking it might work a little bit better, and then I want to see if the return works. And also in the last video, a ton of you guys said when I asked what I should do for the return line, just drill a hole into the cap and do a little rubber grommet in order to keep it in place. So we're going to try that out definitely later on in this video, probably tomorrow because it is late out right now and the hardware store is now closed. But let's go ahead and flip on this fuel pump and see these carbs get fuel for the first time. Oh wait, yeah. Alright, so fuel is flowing. Oh, we got a big leak. Alright, what we got? Alright, looks like the hose was just loose. I'm probably just gonna have to throw a hose clamp on that. So let me just do that real quick and then we'll be back and try that once again. So the leak was actually coming from up here and it was running down and made it seem like it was coming there, but I just hose clamped everything because why not? It's just better that way anyway. But everything is super awesome right now. The fuel system is working great, the whole return system. So if I go ahead and turn on the fuel, the float bowls are already full. There's no more fuel going through, but the return line is working. So we're not pressurizing the needles on the carbs or anything crazy like that and, you know, risking damaging them. There's no fuel gushing out of them, out of the overflow. So this is all working great. Right now, what I want to try and do is fire this up. Now, obviously, I can't really rev it or anything. I can't give it gas to start. So if it doesn't fire or anything like this at all, I'm going to evenly raise the idle on each, make sure that they're both the same. I'm going to assume that the air-fuel mixture ratio, like adjustment, is the same on each carburetor from factory. I'm going to go ahead and do the choke on both, and we'll see if we can get this thing to fire. Really hoping that this battery will have enough juice in it. I know a ton of you guys were saying in the last video to like put a triple charger on it. It's been raining for the past 5 days, and I'm kind of just sketched out for whatever reason, or, you know, for a reason, of running an extension cord out here with the battery charging while it's pouring. But it's going to be sunny for the next couple days, so I'm definitely going to throw that on tonight and continue to do that until this thing is ran on a regular basis. Choke is on. Choke is on. Here we go. Okay. The battery's already, like, dead. So I'm just going to raise up the idles just a tad on each one, like I said before. Oh, it almost did something there. I'm pretty sure the kill switch was off my entire time of doing that, so that sucks. I'm going to give this one more shot and make sure that the kill switch is on, and then if not, I'm going to let this charge overnight. Yeah, this battery's way too dead. And we are charging. So guys, I'll catch you all tomorrow when we get done some more stuff with this thing. Maybe try and fire it up once again, just to get it to idle or, you know, make sure it's running on all 4 cylinders. When I first did this, I was a little bit skeptical with this huge, like, turn. But, I mean, it works, and it's proven to work perfectly fine. So I'm putting my trust in it. Everything really is coming out great. Everything is super solid. And then I'm definitely going to try and see if any stores sell any air filter pods or anything, just to get a filter on there and, you know, maybe give the carburetor some more suction to get some fuel going. But other than that, I mean, everything's coming out pretty good so far, and we'll see what tomorrow has to bring. So see you then. So guys, it is the next day, and when I came in just now, the battery is on green, so I could go ahead and disconnect the terminals, and we could go ahead and try and fire this thing up for the first time with this new dual carburetor swap. So here we go again. Sorry if the lighting's a little bit weird. The sun is like blaring in right now, but I'm not going to run it for too long if it does start without like the air filters and stuff on there. Just because it's inside, obviously. I got the fan going just to blow out the fumes, but obviously I don't want to run it for too long. But here goes nothing. Oh, wait a minute. Petcock's off. Now the fuel's flowing. Alright, we got an issue here. So as you guys just saw, it was just idling great. It did sound like it was struggling a little bit. And I went and felt under the headers, and air was coming out, but some of them felt like it was actually firing in the combustion chamber, and some of them just felt like it was just going through the strokes without any actual firing going on. So I went ahead and felt each one for heat. This one has heat, this one doesn't, then this one has heat, and this one doesn't. So at first, when I first felt this very end, I was worried that the fuel isn't being able to make this turn. But we're verifying that it is because it's making the turn on this one and firing cylinder number 4. So this is definitely either a spark issue or a compression issue. Now compression it shouldn't be. I mean, as you guys know, we just rebuilt this thing. So I'm going towards more spark. I mean, one of these coils does have a crack in it. Or it definitely could be the spark plugs. I mean, these spark plugs have seen better days for sure. So I'm going to go ahead and test the spark on the cylinders that we're not firing and see what we got going there. Spark plug actually looks pretty good, to be honest. It looks really good. I do smell fuel on the tip of it. Oh. I'm not seeing any spark. So now I'm going to pull a spark plug out of one of the good cylinders just to make sure that it's not the spark plug. I mean, I would assume it's not just because this one literally looks like brand new. I mean, basically because it is, but I mean, I'm pretty sure one of the N ones look way worse than this. I mean, this looks amazing. Just in case, for whatever reason, if the spark plug is just bad, I just want to double check it with one that we know for sure is functioning. Or honestly, instead, I could just take this coil and see if it fires the spark plug. That would be way easier and we'll get the same information out of it. I'm seeing spark this time, so we could just have a bad coil. I'm just going to triple check this coil once again, and I'll see what we got. Okay, so I am seeing spark, so I was messing around with this up here because some of them do unplug. I'm going to put it back in, I'm going to check the other side real quick, and then if for whatever reason I'm getting spark on all of them, I'm going to rerun it just to double check and make sure it's maybe running on all 4 cylinders again. Or, if it's not, then I'm going to check compression. So I just took out that spark plug, and this is what I was talking about before. This spark plug is beat. I mean, this thing has been ran rich. And now that I think about it, what I think may have caused that is the old carburetors not working on all of them. So I'm just going to see if this spark plug's even any good anymore. Probably going to clean it up a little bit and see if that works. Alright, so this one actually does in fact have spark. So everything's all back in. I'm going to go ahead and try and start it up once again. Could be either one of two things. One, that cylinder is like completely toast, or my compression tester is reading wrong. Now I haven't used this thing in a very long time, so I just tested it on the good cylinder and it is doing the same exact thing. It's not reading right, and we know the cylinder runs, and you need air, fuel, spark, and compression to run an engine. Any one of the components are gone, this engine will not run. So long story short, just to skip a lot of talking, I skip messing around with the broken compression tester and get the return line set up then after, I will actually get a compression reading so we can actually get this engine running on all 4 cylinders. So while I let the battery charge up, I want to go ahead and get this return line all settled down and everything. So I have a little rubber grommet. A ton of you guys were saying in the last video to use that, so that's what I'm going to do. So right now I'm just going to drill a hole in the top of this, and then I might do one in the bottom just to help it flow out a little bit better. I mean, there are holes here already, but I guess we'll just see how it looks once I drill it and how it looks inside of this. So let's go ahead and do that real quick, and then we'll get back to trying to figure out this whole spark or compression engine issue. So the return line is now in the fuel cap with the grommet. Little things like that definitely just make me happier. So I'm going to see if I can borrow a friend's so we can finally just get an accurate reading with this and get down to the nitty gritty of what's going on. Alright guys, so I actually just got back from AutoZone and I was going to try and borrow a friend's, but I was curious to see if it had a warranty on it, and it did, and I got a brand new one for free, you know, because of the warranty. So I'm going to go ahead and crack this baby open, slap it on there, and finally see this compression. Finally, it works. Alright, so we got 120 on this one, and once again, I'm sure these piston rings aren't really fully seated. I mean, this thing really has not had any, like, legit full running time since it was rebuilt. So I really don't expect these numbers to be like 150s, like optimal compression ratings. And so we got us about 110 on that one, like 120 on that one, and finally on the last one we got 120 once again. So the average seems to be about 120. The lowest one was like 110. With the 3rd cylinder. I definitely don't think compression's our issue. We definitely have enough for it to run. So right now I'm just gonna go and throw back in all of the plugs. I cleaned off all of them to the best I could, so maybe that'll help. And if it doesn't, then it's either spark or fuel. I'm gonna test spark once again before I put it in each cylinder, just so I definitely know that there is spark, and if it does seem like it's a little bit weak, then I'm definitely going to keep that in mind. So all of the plugs are back in, all of them had spark, and decent spark too. It wasn't like any weak type stuff, it was pretty decent. So right now I'm going to take the battery off of the charger, try once again to fire it up, and hopefully all 4 are firing. Okay, getting out of here. Carbon monoxide. Guys, that was, well, that's weird lighting, but that was all 4 cylinders. I put my hands under there. Oh, I felt all the exhaust coming out of the cylinders. Oh my god, that was sick. Oh, I should probably turn off the fuel pump. But it is hazy and smoky in here and filled with CO. So I'm gonna let the fan run for a minute, but that was, that was one of the that was probably the healthiest I've ever heard this engine. That was the first time it's ever ran with the new oil in it. I guess it just needed a little bit of a wire adjustment. I don't know if I told you guys that, but I adjusted the wires, kind of made sure that they were all plugged in and everything like that, and that could have made the big difference. A little bit of spark plug cleaning, and I also adjusted the air-fuel ratio on one of the carburetors because they were not matched up. I matched up the idle screw, and voila. So this exhaust is hot. That one's hot. This one I felt it firing, but let's just make sure. Oh yeah. Boom. They're all hot. Woohoo! The return was working great. It wasn't overflowing out of the cap or anything like that. So those 4 holes in the bottom are definitely sufficient enough, and we won't have to re-drill that and make any more changes to that. I have a question for you guys. I like to ask you guys a question each video because I can learn a lot from you all. But I wanted to do an airbox, and that's because when I first did this build, I was told that these engines need an airbox to run properly. And in the last video, a ton of you guys were saying to get the AirPods. Each carburetor has its own air filter. They're not connected in any way. They're each individual. So I want to finalize on what I should do, if I should make a tiny little air box for it, or if I should get individual pods, or somehow get the 2 pods and connect them somehow, and maybe that'll make a difference. I don't know. I just heard a ton of things a while ago that if this doesn't have an air box, and if it has air pods or pod filters, it won't run right at all. So definitely let me know down in the comments if you guys know. So I'm gonna go ahead and fire it back up once again because of 2 things. I'm curious to see if it'll start back up, and I want to see if we could get a tach signal from it because I just hooked up the tachometer cable to the valve cover, and I want to see if this thing will actually move and how high it's actually idling. Heck yeah, it works. So that was definitely pretty cool to see this engine in RPM form. That was about like 1200, 1300 RPMs just there. I can't even imagine what it's gonna be like when it's up there. That is gonna be insane. Alright guys, so it is actually the next morning, and last night I had to wrap it up because I had a meeting I had to go run to, but I did plan on doing some more stuff in this video, but it turns out it's already over 20 minutes long, and I mean, doing this carb swap was a little bit of a mission, trying to figure out how to get this thing to run on all 4 cylinders, but we figured it out. We got a ton of little stuff done here and there, especially with like tuning and stuff. But definitely let me know about the AirPods. I keep doing AirPods, AirPod filters, or the AirBox. What I should do in order to get filtered air in there and make this thing run a little bit better so we can go ahead and tune it. And then next video I should have those throttle cables in so we can also mess around with that a little bit. See how it revs up. That'll be really awesome. But I'm going to be ending off the video here. Definitely check out my social medias. They'll be in the outro of this video. Instagram, Snapchat, I use the most. And check out Orion on SoundCloud. His link to his new album will be down in the description. So definitely go check that out. But anyway, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment, tell your friends about the channel.